replying to some queries or comments on my vlog. So this is Miss Flavia's longish query. You'll have to bear with me. That when we speak of tracking and investing for returns, good performance, stock prices and general principles, it can swing either way. True. What about good companies manage their performance, timing of reporting results versus forecast, as really we have no way to independently verify, not to mention how companies would route costs through books to manage numbers or to suit desired outcomes. Completely agree, but over a long period of time you will develop good vibes or bad vibes about a company. So if you're a small investor there, you have no business looking at companies with not a longish track record. I would think a company, an investor who is trying to invest on his own or her own should restrict themselves, like say in an Indian context, to top 100 companies. So you have a reasonable track record. If you want to put money in a company where you don't know anything about, you should know the management or something like that, right? Or you put in small amounts of money and scale up as and when you see the results which are happening. The only thing which you can really see is the market willing to give it more and more respect. That respect is all captured in the PE. So is the PE increasing? Are people willing to say, oh, this company seems to be good? Don't go by corporate governance awards and things like that. You have no clue. Don't look at whether mutual funds are participating in them. The problem is when you look at a small company and you don't have mutual fund participation, etc., you have no clue about the management, you have no clue about the liquidity. Tomorrow if you want to sell say 50,000 shares of a company which is not very widely held, you might be in trouble. So don't even look at those companies. Why should you look at such a small company? You're not an institutional investor. You don't have equity research teams. You do your own research, yes, but stick yourself to top companies. Don't go for very low grade companies. Investor expectation and reading may not match the powers that be. What happens if they manage numbers? Of course they do manage numbers sometimes, but companies can't manage numbers for very long periods of time. If you don't understand, stay away. If you don't understand Reliance Industries, don't invest in Reliance Industries. Or say 150 analysts are tracking it, 400 mutual funds have invested in it, or 400 mutual fund schemes have invested in it, etc. Therefore I will buy. Whatever, take a call that way. Either you have the ability to understand the balance sheet, or you trust in collective wisdom saying so many people can't go wrong, right? That could be another way of looking at it. But yeah, to think that you will be able to do a detailed analysis sitting at home just with published information is not right. It is not wholly wrong, but it is not definitely right. If you want to ask some questions and the company is not willing to answer you because you're too small, bad luck. But yes, there is this problem. Investors and going concern unfortunately measured based on tradable stock prices. That is the only indicator you have. So if you bought a share of Suzlon at 105 and today it is 5, you have to accept that there was something wrong in your decision to buy at 105. Selling at 5, or should you wait for it to go back to 25? I have no clue. But then the only real indicator for you as a retail investor is the market price, right or wrong, but that's the only information you have. Rudy asks, what about inflation adjusted rental yields? Even in case of self-occupancy, the notional yield should be counted. Will Schiller have the same calculations? I don't know whether Schiller will have, but even if Schiller has, he has in the US context. In India, what is a bad indicator to me is rental yields are 1.5 to 2% in a country where you can't get money for buying a house at anything less than 7%. Please explain that remaining 5%. If that 5% is not being given to you in terms of appreciation over at least 5 years, so in 5 years, if the price goes up by say 25%, or I'm not compounding it, then maybe a house will get attractive. Otherwise, that's not happening. I'm not saying it won't happen in the next 5 years, but that is the reason why it's not a great, does not look like a great investment. Gaurav Chaudhary, I'm an equity loving person with 80% of my net worth is in equities. 4 or 5 years I love money, but look at this problem. 4 or 5 years means you've not really seen a longish bear market. I tried many things. The only thing which really stands out was this, your video about direct investments or in equity as a whole. My father is retiring in a couple of years, and I'm planning to put money in an index fund with a 6% SWP. Will it be fine? I have no clue. I'm not here to give advice on stuff like asset allocation, how you should be doing withdrawals, etc. If I think people should not confuse bloggers from financial advisors. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing some of my experiences with you, because I've had a very long journey. 1979 is the first investment when I made. So I can actually tell you I've invested in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, 2020, and now the 2030 decade. So I can talk about that, but okay, 79, so it is obviously just 7-8 months of 1979, and so but yes, 21 plus 21, 42 years experience. I'm just sharing it. Don't come and ask me such specific questions. I don't think in this case it will work, and I don't think you should take a retired man's money and put it in an index fund. But that's your call. Whatever you want to do, please consult an advisor. I'm here, I'm just having fun. I'm not here to give this kind of specific advice. I can give broad advice saying equity is good, in the long run it will make money, but be scared of equity. Equity can go wrong also. So I will say love equity, and I'll say a video saying don't fall in love with equity so much that you sell everything and put money in equity. That also doesn't work, right? And a lot of social media things like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have got such a huge advantage simply because of social media. Without social media there'd be no Bitcoins, right? Sudeep Roy says, I've been following and watching your videos and appreciate your sharing your vast investment knowledge and wisdom. It would be more useful if you can, while quoting investment numbers, you keep in mind of the average middle class aspirational Indian. I really can't. I can give you examples from what I hear, meet, see. So if I meet somebody with 50,000 shares, I'm going to talk about 50,000 shares. I'm not going to talk about 200 shares or 500 shares, or I may talk about them also because somebody sends a query like this. But beyond that, since I'm not doing asset allocation, etc., it shouldn't matter to you what I say, because you can hear it with 1 0 less. If I talk about 50,000 shares, you hear it as 500 shares. That's perfectly all right. So it's not really going to change much. But since I'm not doing your asset allocation, since I'm not saying how much you should be in equity, how much you should be in debt, that's your call with your advisor. I really can't do much there. There is noise in some of my videos. Yes, I agree. I have done something to improve it. Hopefully that will change. Oil India and HPCL best shares to buy. Okay, Swapna, no clue. And people keep asking me, how do I load my videos at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. and 3 a.m. One, I get up early, that is true. But today, please understand, technology allows me to load whatever time I want. So I load 2 videos, one at 12 a.m., one at 12 p.m. Or some of these days when I have longish videos, then I have just 1 video for the whole day, right? So both of that happens. Sir, how to invest in US market directly? Today it is possible to invest in US market directly, but if you're not a very big investor, which means you're not going to invest more than 1 crore of rupees, I would still think you're better off investing through mutual funds in India rather than go and buy the FANG shares, which I guess that's what you want to do. Stock market is synonymous with speculation. Arvind Jain, I think you're in the wrong channel. I can give you thousands of people who have made crores of rupees in the market and they have not been speculators. It is partial. Should I take partial booking in a dividend stock and invest the profits into a different dividend stock? Or is it better to let the dividend stock holding even if the price is volatile? It's your call, individual call. So I have done everything. I've held equity stocks for long periods of time. I've held on to dividend yields for long periods of time. Now that dividends are taxed in my hands at a high rate, I'm wondering whether to go to a mutual fund and hold it in a growth option rather than pay tax on dividend. So all options are yours. You have to sit and think what suits you. There can't be one answer which is fits all. So can you provide highly recommended high dividend paying stocks or mutual funds? Sorry, please do your shopping elsewhere. This is the wrong place. I don't give quick and easy answers. Go to a screener, go check for dividend yield as a query, and you will be able to do it. And free screeners are available in India.